stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars. Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
Someone with a talent for exploiting insecurities. Handle bits for a living, huh?
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be...
Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down 11%. Skip drive
Shit.
inoperable.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Ah!
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Oh, we're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Not that I deserve to be. Can't even deliver a company slogan. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take them. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Spacer's Choice policy clearly stipulates that dead and as good as dead are two completely different properties of matter. Unless I'm dead, I'm contractually obligated to attend to my post. I will report that illegally grounded spacecraft if it is the last thing I do. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh? Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time. The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous salt tuna.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just
here before you get yourself killed. Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. Really? How is he? Shouldn't have done that. Spacer's Choice family ain't authorized to receive medical aid from off-brand physicians. We'll see him back to Edgewater, just as soon as I cross these marauders off with the swift, cost-efficient fury that's made Spacer's Choice the most trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to... Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting... You know what? You're right. It's time we...
Here we go. I'm reloading! Serves you right, dissident!
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder. Unauthorized access of space. Hello. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Prepare to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
What's that noise?
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Your pod? What? Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. A bit. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but... Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're... Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your... Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite to... 4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just did. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. Yeah.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to...
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Good law, no, I don't want you killing. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. We belong to one community.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office and talk. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matter. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to... That's what my dad used to say anyway.
Sorry, I'll just be a minute.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to... depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Easy. Watch out! We did it! You're fast.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must... A Gia what? Look, if you're gonna start wandering around... Over in the hothouse. Enough with the questions. Much obliged.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them. I have been called that, among other things.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees.
Why, thank you. You're Robert. Are you staying long? You should try some of... Reed Thompson. You here on behalf of that cold-eyed... Let's hear it. What... Make amends. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip him out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the camp. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power. You've seen... I trust you.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was... Whoa.
Are you,
Great, just...
Oh, God.
Are you from town? I mean... Sorry, I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind... You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a...
Those are good. My dad kept a copy.
I know the old community center kept a... Would you? What's up? Luck, mostly. Nothing's needed serious repairing yet. No. Oh, I can swap out a... Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, I owe them my life. What a...
Gotcha. I always wanted to poke around in here.
Process. Zip searching.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
I'm sleeping.
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Unexpected.
All together! Everyone all right? There's 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to... Here they come! Can't you pass them over? That's gotta hurt. Everyone all right?
No, just leave me alone! Get away!
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Sis begin.
Get past that armor! Everyone all right? When to go? If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
Processing beginning secure.
Here they come! That's smart!
Investigate.
Here they come! That's the last. I'm not sure what the ride is. Alls I know is the decision's fine. Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know. Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all, in Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow it's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the... But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She... Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I just... Really? I mean...
Get away! You're not real. 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 Get away from me, Phantom. You can talk? The Phantoms never... See, Higgins? Clearly, I mistook you for one of the Phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. Oh, Higgins has been I've come along... Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually... Mechanicals lost their bolts. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes. Oh, before. Definitely before. Sissy... What's eating you? Look, I don't want to fall into any... Ironic deaths are the worst. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their... Yes, that's exactly it. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the tail. Forgot. What's he?
Let's go! Don't mess it up! Woohoo!
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the... This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing... I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes. You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them they're... And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. My son worked in that cannery. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden, right? Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secret. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder. Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. No kidding. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really... I appreciate... In fact, I put aside something special. Sure. I've been thinking about going back. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. You know something? I think you're right. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own. It's just... Adelaide hates Edgewater. We're the nearest she's got to... You know where to find...
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild... The matter's... Fact is, I can't go anywhere long as Zoe's missing. It's not like Zoe to go on. Can't imagine where she's gone. Could do without the gallows, I'll tell you. Vex me. Little ways. Could be. Well, enough to know we never got on. What is it? I'm not...
Look at that.
Don't see why Thomas can't just get the generator up and something I can. You mean Zoe and I were gonna watch this? You sound like some. Hey, I got. Zoe. Shame she up. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, she called it journaling, but I think it's just plain. The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer.
Incoming! That's gotta hurt. Down they go! It's bouncing off! Got him off.
I don't know what.
Here we go! Nice hit! That's the last of them!
What? You mean Adelaide's little
You on?
I got kicked out of Edgewater. I'd heard. Instead, what do I find? I've got all the time and. What? I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose.
One of us want to go. I'm not in a. We didn't always get along, but I'm glad. Zoe joined up. You pretty much did my job for me. Let me know if I can do something for you. The matter. Zoe came. I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Edgewater's. We're the closest thing, Adel. You better be sure about this. Sure. Suit yourself. I'll be.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool... I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So... Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this... I am not perfect. I have made my I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look... I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best... You are disparaging our parent We are a Spacer's Choice. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, no such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls. I don't know. I could see my... I have always tried to do right by my town. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague. And...
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's... You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater.
What happened? Scrap fell in.
Heard something outside the walls today.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
It's a fine new day in Edgewater. The cannery hums, streetlights. I suppose this means that... I am somewhat taken aback by that, given the heat, but... Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this... French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French! Ha! I was so... Well, I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. Please. As if my life should have no greater meaning. Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next aether wave. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, you have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use. Certainly. I already gave you most of my money, but I can offer you... I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt... Oh, I'm fairly competent at... Fantastic.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scene. It is my esteemed pleasure to serve...
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you around here too often.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. I worked on the occasional supply coach in need of repairs. Once I built a little... I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But... can I come with you? And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back... Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's... What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up... What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities. We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you. Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. A change of clothes. What is this? Some old... The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes... Excellent. I'll come... And remember, the board's only interested in filling...
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart... Would you like a reminder on when your next shower is scheduled? We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Got a sec?
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. Just as I remembered.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a toss ball stick. I heard you the first time.
Let's...
Customs and inspection, right this way! Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, according to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get...
Well, isn't this... Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the... You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium cup. Access to that information is above my pay grade. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, if I had to take a guess as to why... You take the starch out of him? Well, oh, and if you're headed that way, Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon. Much. Is there anything else? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring it... He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get this... Not that he would, being a board... They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend... All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top and map. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our... It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters docking. They got assault cruisers. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we...
The board wouldn't do that.
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe...
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
No